From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. U.S. President Donald Trump says he might temporarily exempt automakers from tariffs to give them more time to move their production out of Canada. Reporters asked Trump about short-lived product exemptions in the Oval Office today.
I'm looking at something to help some of the car companies where they're switching to parts that were made in Canada, Mexico, and other places, and they need a little bit of time because they're going to make them here.
Trump slapped tariffs on all automobile imports to the United States, but made a partial carve-out for vehicles under the Canada-US-Mexico Agreement on Trade. The Manitoba government says 2 electricity export contracts with Minnesota are not being renewed. Premier Wab Kinew says the contracts are set to expire at the end of this month. He plans to use the energy in Canada.
We're going to continue to export power to Wisconsin and to the other Midwestern states. But while we're going to say continue to export 2,000 gigawatt hours of power per year, we're also going to say that this 500 megs is going to be set aside for domestic purposes.
Kinew says 50 megawatts of that power will be set aside for the potential development of a transmission line to connect parts of Nunavut to the grid in Manitoba. Pierre Poilievre says a conservative government would bring in a law allowing judges to sentence people to consecutive life sentences. Poilievre says he'd use the notwithstanding clause to overturn a Supreme Court decision that found the law unconstitutional.
When you kill 6 people, you should never be eligible for parole. You should never be able to force the families of the victims to have to come and testify at a parole hearing so that they relive the hell that you've exacted on them.
Also on the campaign trail today, Liberal leader Mark Carney pledged to overhaul the way Canada procures defense supplies. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh campaigned in Toronto to pledge improvements to health care. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has taken the stand in a historic U.S. antitrust trial that could force the tech giant to break off Instagram and WhatsApp. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission's trying to prove that Meta bought Instagram and WhatsApp so it could preserve its social networking monopoly. As protest grows against Elon Musk's work with the Trump administration, some Tesla owners are trying to deter vandals targeting their cars.
On the same Etsy page where Tesla owners can buy bumper stickers proclaiming "Still Team Elon," others can purchase stickers that say, "I bought this before Elon went crazy." New York State Senator Mark Walczyk is going after Tesla vandals.
If someone damages property because they want to express their political ideology, that would be a Class E felony.
While one of his colleagues is demanding that the state divest its pension fund from Tesla. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Canada trounced host Czechia with a 7-1 win today at the Women's World Hockey Championship. Canada will face either Japan or Germany in the quarterfinals. In the NHL, the Edmonton Oilers won't have defenseman Matthias Ekholm for their opening playoff series against the LA Kings. In Montreal tonight, Ivan Demidov will make his NHL debut as the Canadiens host the Chicago Blackhawks. An update today on the new $900 million arena for the NHL's Calgary Flames.
Construction's on schedule and on budget, and Scotia Place remains on track to open in the fall of 2027.
Project spokesman Bob Hunter says they're using steel from Europe and processing it in Canada to avoid U.S. tariffs. And plenty of smiles today at Rogers Centre, where slugger Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed his $500 million U.S. 14-year contract with the Toronto Blue Jays. The Jays host the Atlanta Braves tonight, opening a 3-game series. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.